How long gone? Sunday, Jason. How you feeling, bro?
What else can I say, man? It's Sunday, am I right?
What else can I say? It's the Lord's Day, bro. I'm resting. I got up early. I went to church. I'll probably do this, get a massage, have a nap. You know what I mean? Just kind of give the glory to Him on this day.
Yeah, the good Lord wants you to get a deep tissue massage.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I was worried I was getting a little sick, so I'm trying to take it easy. I went out on Friday for Valentine's Day and did a little dining al fresco. Didn't bring a coat.
Oh,
well, I mean, I
wow.
was wearing a suit, so like I was wearing a
I know
jacket,
what you
but
mean,
you know,
though. But you needed more.
I needed more. The heat lamps were not functional due to rain damage. Heat lamps got rained out, so it was that, and then I went to the Directors Bureau Valentine's Day party, Chris Chang's party, which is basically an indoor smoking party. So it went from teeth chattering, drinking delicious bubbles. Had an amazing meal at Stir Crazy for a little Valentine's Day treat. It was delish, but then going from the outdoor bitter chill straight into an indoor cigarette hot box. And my internals were not thriving.
Yeah, no, I understand. I feel I've been out 3 nights in a row, which is a lot for me. So I'm feeling.
You've been doing a lot, Chris. You went to a hardcore show.
Yeah, I went to see American Nightmare and Indecision last night at a place called Brooklyn Monarch with Jake Gallagher. And as soon as Jake Gallagher and
Brooklyn Monarch sounds like a WNBA team. Go ahead.
Sat down for dinner, he was like, "You sound hungover," and I'm like, "Yeah, I feel hungover because I've been out. I've just been out too much. I've been talking too much, which is big for me." But the hardcore show. When's the last time you went to? I feel like you went to one more recently than me. Didn't you go to the California Takeover reunion?
Yeah, but that was like 3 years ago,
bro. I haven't been
maybe longer.
I haven't been to a hardcore show since 2002, probably. Literally.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude. I mean, maybe 2004. Like, I haven't been to anything. I mean,
so many of our listeners weren't alive when you last went to a hardcore show.
That's right. That's right. And going to a hardcore show today, especially of bands from my era, was amazing for my ego. Because the rest of the fans that also seem to be my age look 10 years younger 10 years older. And also, I'm not exaggerating, the amount of like union merchandise I saw last night, like that joke is real. Like, all these guys from Long Island really are plumbers. Like, that's not a joke. That's not a joke. And I was stunned by how much I saw.
Okay. So I used to love the real, Long Island hardcore working class kind of energy.
Yeah,
but it never really. It was just like, oh, those guys are cool. They have bleached blonde dreadlocks and they're wearing camo jerseys. They are badass and cool and sick. And then now
they also know how to lay bricks.
And now I opened the curtains at Radio City for $78 an hour.
That it's literally,
and I'm forklift certified. I work at Chewy.com.
It's very forklift certified
in the warehouse.
But I also feel like I just remember. And tell me if I'm crazy, but I just remember there being like a lot of looks at hardcore shows. You know what I mean? Like, whether the good, bad, or indifferent, people had like looks.
Because we used to go there to enjoy music, but also, get a little piece of head, maybe.
Yeah,
and vice versa. It was a social place to try and get shows.
Yeah. There were so many women there. It was really really.
The ratio is not stupendous,
bro. I don't want.
It's not a Neo concert, but it's something there.
You can have those tatted up girls up front. You can have that, but the
I'm not talking about up front.
The vibe was very. Yeah, it was like guys my age that felt.
I'm talking about merch booth shouting
that felt a lot older. And the American Nightmare was good. Like, they sounded good. And I guess I kind of forgot that part of the reason that band has stood the test of time and people like them so much is because Wes, the singer who's been on the show, was like an actual celebrity in hardcore world. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he had something that others did not have. And that was very clear last night in a room full of 1,000 people in Brooklyn.
He is better than 1,000.
He's different. He's better than 1,000. Yeah.
He was serving Civ realness.
I just saw crazy shit. Like I saw like adult men in like vintage Sky Came Falling t-shirts. Just shit I had not
That's
thought
twin
about.
right there for you, isn't it?
That's just shit I have not thought about.
Well, you were mentioning it used to be a place where you would go and get a look off, get a fit off. This is where if you're a white guy who lives in your parents' basement, you find your best bandana to wrap around your forehead, Tupac style, whatever it may be, to try and peacock and stunt. This seems like the Olympics of I'm going to wear that one T-shirt that cost me $870 that ain't nobody else got on right now.
No, the problem was that those kind of guys, the shirt was absolutely original because they have not moved 1 inch from where they were when they bought it.
So like I bought this for $10 in 1998.
Yeah, it's real. But I felt like there would be like, guys in like head to toe Montbell or Arc'teryx. You know what I mean? Or like, I just thought there would be like those kind of guys, and there might be some guys that are like a little gothy, but they still have a look. I don't know. It was just a bunch of white guys that are balding with some sort of facial hair and a t-shirt and pants. That was the only like I thought there would be there'd be like a streetwear guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just thought I would see Palace and Supreme or whatever, and I didn't see any of that.
I mean, you would have even settled for some ALD times where that
I would have settled for an ALD. Really, that's honestly how bad it was. But I just it was just
where my little where my little Noah short set.
No Noah sets there. I mean, not even. I couldn't even catch a hundreds tee in the pit. It was that stark.
You gotta come to Cali, bro. It's way different. I'm just kidding. It is not. It is the exact same as that.
Well, there hopefully 18 Visions, still gets their looks off. But yeah, they do. The best part of the whole thing is every set is 40 minutes max. And I was out the door in an Uber on the way home by 10 p.m.
Damn. Okay.
Doors were at 5. We showed up at 8.
Doors at 5. What is this, SNL?
It's honestly crazy. Doors at 5. But I texted Wes. I was like, "What time are you guys on?" He said 8:50, and I was like, "All right, well, I don't need to be there till 8:45, but we got a few minutes here, so I'll kick the tires and check it out." I got to build for the first time ever with James Justified Arrogance.
Oh, okay.
In the flesh, but I literally met a guy, Jason, who good-looking guy wearing a Napalm Death T-shirt.
And I'm hard.
He was with our friend Sammy, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Buffalo." I'm like, "Oh, do you live here?" He's like, "No, I live in Buffalo." And I was like, "Oh, what do you do in Buffalo?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a carpenter." And I was like, "Man, this is so refreshing to talk to someone who does a real job. It's so rare."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Yeah, I restore like protected homes." Basically, like things that are like actually have to be restored to a certain code because they're they're like zoned historic.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this guy, and I was just like, "Damn, this is so sick that this guy is not an influencer. He's not a podcaster. He doesn't work in media of any sort. This motherfucker wakes up every day and doesn't have to look at his phone. His job has nothing to do with his phone.
But also more importantly, he's not going to a show because he wants to, because it's going to be cool, because he heard that this band is good, because he got guest list, because he's not like, oh, I need to go see MJ Lenderman because they're buzzing. He's going to this show and he seeked it out because he needs to go. It's like how people, I got to go see Morrissey or whatever. It's just like, this is my therapy or whatever it is. Like,
yes.
I have to yell and punch and kick strangers for 4 hours a day. Or else me do bad things or something. Or it's just like that's how I get off. That's my shit.
He just had a certain positivity to him that reeked of someone who isn't tethered to a phone. You know what I'm saying? Like in a way that I'm just like, I don't know people like this, and it is nice to talk to you.
Did he inspire you at all to make any changes? Or are you going to take any advice from this lifestyle, or are you going to keep going down your dark path?
Definitely not. No, definitely not. I'm just glad to know it exists. I know it's not for me, but I'm glad to know it exists. But it was a successful evening overall, and I have to say, I think I'll dip my toe back into that when it's appropriate more often. I'm going to try to make an effort to do that because it did feel good to kind of revisit something that I haven't done in over a decade or whatever.
Were there any fights?
No fights. No, it was all pretty. I mean, there was some head walking and stage diving, etc. But there were no fights. I didn't see anybody leaving with a bloody nose or anything like that.
Okay. Nobody got stuck in the leg or anything.
No. Yeah, everybody's.
You guys are pussy over there in New York.
That's kind of my thought. That was kind of my thought too. But yeah, it was fun. But
that wouldn't have gone down the same in Wilkes-Barre. Let me tell you what,
no,
brother.
Wilkes-Barre, they're known for sticking. They'll poke you.
You're gonna get a garbage bag over your head from behind. They're gonna duct tape it off.
Bro, Wilkes-Barre. Dude,
we don't play down in WB, brother. WB. Warner Brother, Wilkes-Barre.
That really was a place where like hardcore stuff happened, and that's the only reason I know it exists. That's the only reason I know that place exists.
Of course, that's the only reason you should.
I couldn't pick it out from a map, but yeah. So and then on Friday night on Valentine's Day, we went to the SNL 50 concert.
I was going to say that seems like a tough invite, but then I saw that everyone seemed to be there, so maybe not so tough. They're saving it was like the consolation for the people who couldn't get in tonight to the big 50th
exactly
show.
100% what it is, which is fine.
I mean, it's cool because it's literally like there's literally like maybe John Hamm can get on the list. Like your ass ain't.
No, I shouldn't have been in here. I mean, Will Welch invited me, and that's why I was there.
Not even Jack Harlow is going to invite, and he's hosted.
Jack Harlow is alone at Balthazar.
He got a dying solo at Balthy. Talking about Lauren left me on red.
It was very interesting to be at just like when you're at stuff like that, and there's such a variety of performances, and what like I am excited about, and then how the room reacts to something awful. Like Mumford and Sons gets the biggest response. You know what I mean? That may be the worst thing that like Jelly Roll is better than Mumford and Sons. But
when you would rather have Jelly Roll, things ain't going well. But I'm glad that you're talking about this specific niche thing, because it's something that I've been noticing with a lot of these live performances. I guess the similarities would be like the Fire Aid Live Nation concert thing that happened a couple weeks ago. There's like a specific type of vibe where it's like, well, nothing is working, the system is broken, let's just have everybody musician in the history of the world, I don't care if you're 7 or 70, play your big song and off you go. And then there's like the pit in the front where they hire like 75 paid people to dance in a way that no one has ever danced in their entire life, which is, there's somebody with like a headphone and a clipboard, and they're like, so you have to just put your hands in the air and like move them around like it's a fucking like a Pepsi video from 2003. And they're like, but it's Stevie Nicks doing Landslide. Like, bitch, I don't care. Hands in the air. Like
you're jumping up
to
and down.
Pitbull right now.
Yeah, you're jumping up and down. I don't give a fuck what the song is.
At that point, just put those people in with AI. It's just weird. But it's a room full of people performing for a room full of people who also perform. So, Miley Cyrus is going out there and she's like, oh, so this is going to be stupid. Got it. This is going to suck.
We missed Miley. I think that, though, I think... there was a few because there was a shitload of people like on the invite, you know what I mean? And then there was also like Lauryn Hill and Wyclef as a surprise, which I'm like, damn, that's crazy, because SNL's not paying people. They're covering flights and hotels and shit, but they're not paying you to do this.
I'm assuming
and Lauryn Hill doesn't do anything. No, I mean, Lauryn Hill doesn't do anything. And it was bad. Like I was like, damn, this is pretty sick. They got the fucking Fugees to do this. This is cool. And there was some. Do you know when
you got prosed? Is what happened?
It felt like a medley gone wrong because it was too chaotic. You know what I mean? There's like 15-piece band. They're all overplaying, and the songs are moving too fast. And it's like, just play the one hit. We don't need to hear 4 songs. We need to hear one.
Yeah. Instead of doing, and then you can tell that it wasn't really rehearsed too well. And like, okay, we're going to come in on the 4th bar of the pre-chorus on Killing Me Softly. So then we're only, it's just going to be the big chorus, and then we'll break into that one. Yeah. And you could tell that they rehearsed it 2 times. And Lauren was like, we got this. And then the red light turns on the camera, and you didn't got this.
You didn't got this. But honestly, B-52s and Devo might have been the best. Like, actually good. Like B-52 sounded sick, even though Fred Armisen was on drums. But then,
well, B-52's legendary live performers. They do the work.
That's like what
pros.
they do.
They're so good.
That's what they do. But the best thing I saw, well, the two best things I saw was during the commercial breaks for TV, they would show like music performances on the big screen, like for the people in the building, like to buy the time. And they showed REM doing What's the Frequency, Kenneth, and Michael Stipe is wearing like silver pants and like a t-shirt and looks cooler than he's ever looked. Sure. And they played Outkast doing, I believe, Miss Jackson, maybe, in their like prime.
Was Andre also wearing silver pants? There's a 50% chance.
Even weirder. Way weirder. He was wearing like a bustier, and it was so good. I was like, I forgot how good that was. Like how amazing they were as performers. And then the Backstreet Boys come out.
Even though I hate Miss Jackson, I've always hated that song, but all the other songs on the album.
I think that was it. I wish it was Bombs Over Baghdad. That's my personal favorite. That's my personal favorite. But yeah, it was fun. I mean,
MIA's influence is everywhere.
Because we went to dinner before at Le Veau d'Or, which is like the new French place that the Frenchette guys do. But it's uptown. And so Alex joined us for dinner, and then Will and I went to the show, and then it was kind of nice out. So Will and I were like, let's just walk a little bit, and then we'll get our cabs and go home. And we ended up I walked home from Radio City.
Wow, I was giving 9/11.
I was wearing cowboy boots, and I got home and took off my sock, and it was just full blood. I felt like a chick in my red bottoms.
No way.
Yeah, I destroyed my left foot. It still hurts. I'm such an idiot.
What was the shoe story?
It was a cowboy boot. I wear them all the time. They're like broken in, but I guess 60 blocks will just kind of undo anything,
Every time that I've had an issue like that with like an uncomfortable shoe and like a whatever, you complain to a woman about that and they just laugh at you. They're like, bruh, I've been doing this.
Yeah, that's since high school. Yeah. Like, welcome to my...
Yeah, it's not the childbearing that we don't give them enough credit for. It's the shoes, ladies.
Like, you know how many chicks have put on 6-inch heels in snow? You know what I mean? To go to the club, like that is, it couldn't be us. We get to wear sneakers.
We call them queens for a reason.
I'm still recovering, It's kind of
that's tough, man. So you were just walking in the boots, and then it has a very like a Western movie kind of vibe where you take the boot off finally once you walk up your 7th floor walk up or whatever you got over there. Kick all the cockroaches out of the way, and you take your cowboy boot off, turn it upside down, and blood just come a-gushing, huh?
Yeah, blood, exactly. Yeah, just flowing like a river.
Like a glass of Pinot Noir.
Out of that goddamn boot. But I'm
crazy.
I think
it's tough, man.
I gotta recover, but I can't wear a Band-Aid either. That's
What is it on the back of the heel?
No, it's the toe. It's the 2 smallest toes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
I know. Back would make sense, but I also think maybe I just don't wear. I only wear socks. I don't like to wear socks, as you know, but I'll wear like Uniqlo socks because they're easy and cheap and they come in nice colors. And I think they're too thin for a boot. I think that's the problem. I think you got to put on the kind of Nike dry fit sock for the boot to give it a little extra cushion.
Yeah, when you have a boot in there, that's your one time where you can wear whatever sock you want because
it's not visible.
You're the only one who's going to see it. Yeah,
that's true.
My ladies out there know about that move.
I've learned my lesson. And I won't be.
There's got to be some sort of like technical boot sock that.
For sure.
Bella Hadid's baby daddy's got a promo on. It's got some type of sweat wicking technology.
He's like, look, pussy. I know you don't ride horses, but if you want to dress like us, I advise you get these socks.
There's also probably like if I were to ask Lana Del Rey's Swamp husband, he's like, oh, you got to put some. There's probably some type of salve.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, my granddad used to make this salve, man. I tell you, it saved my feet for years.
You got to put some sarsaparilla oil on there, and that'll get rid of your boot blood.
I got boot rash. I walked all that. I mean, it was a nice walk.
I'm gonna send over on Goldbelly just like a 12-pack of leeches. It'll come tomorrow, and then just drop them on there, and it'll be weird at first, but just let them do their thing.
It would be so cool if Goldbelly offered leeches and like fish to give you pedicures. You know what I mean? You could just order. You could order from Asia. That'd be so sick. Overnight.
Yellow belly is what we call him. We'll see if that gets cut.
So how was the Directors Bureau? I saw a lot of content from it, and it looked fun.
It was great. I mean, I like the idea of a Valentine's Day party.
Yes.
On actual Valentine's Day.
I agree.
Like Valentine's Day, it is a beautiful time, and you spend some quality time with your partner. But I think nowadays most people spend quality time alone with their partner more than they do anything.
More than they would like is possible for some.
For some of our listeners out there, more than they would like, more than they can handle spiritually. So it's kind of like a fun thing to, because it's Valentine's Day, you want to dress up in a nice outfit, but it's also like, I've already worn this outfit, and the only person that's going to see it is just the waiter at the grill or whatever. It's nice to go and have, a couple hundred
I agree.
celebrity people being like, give us a reason to really dress up, look nice, have fun, party. And also, getting wasted at a restaurant with one person is cool and fun, but, it's more fun to do it with a big old group full of people.
Yeah, after overpaying.
There's a DJ.
After
there's
overpaying
food,
for
drugs.
a prefix menu you didn't want, you got to drown yourself in booze and drugs to kind of recover from that.
That's right. Yeah, it was great. There was a Frank Sinatra impersonator that did some bops. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
A Valentine's Day party is a good idea. I think you're absolutely right. Because you can go to dinner and just go to the party. It's not like you have to do one or the other.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Stir Crazy is perfect for. Do a little, go at like 7 o'clock, hang out for a couple hours. You show up at the party. It's a perfect little bang bang. I wish you were in town, Jack Harlow. I know you listen a little bit, but we could have had you out there. But it was, people were talking about that photo of him dining solo at Balthazar on Valentine's Day. Do you think that is, what do you think the story behind that is? Is it album promo?
Honestly, I think Jack's a real one. I'm a Jack Harlow apologist. I think he was probably just like, I'm solo on Valentine's Day. None of these light-skinned chicks are calling me back. I'm going to Balthazar alone.
They don't even know what Balthazar is.
I honestly think, it does but that's the problem in today's society, is that we think everything's promo, which I a lot of the time I believe, but sometimes I think people are just going to dinner.
Yeah, I guess that is one of the unfortunate side effects of brain rot is instead of having your conspiracy theory being about the Illuminati or the government or pedophile rings, it's about like album cycle promos. Like, no, Addison wanted this song to be not that good. It's like all part of the plan. Trust the process, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there's sometimes celebrities and musicians just do things because they were going to do them, and it's not all calculated. This Jack Harlow thing is too good. It's also like, he probably knows somebody's going to take a picture of him, but that's if he goes out in public anywhere.
It would have been cooler if I think if he was if it was actually staged.
Yeah.
And he has a new single coming out about, being alone or whatever. He should have had a book with him to really drive it home. I think that's the tell where I
would love to see him with some hot new fiction, or maybe like a James Joyce, like a classic. He could go either way. Like hot new fiction, female writer would be good for him.
Sure.
No Mew Mew book club, but something along those lines. Or he goes with a kind of manly classic, a puffy chest Hemingway. Maybe.
Yeah. I would like to see him with a tattered copy, I'd like to see him with a brand new copy of The Artist's Way with the sticker still on it, but it's upside down.
Sick. Yes, that's so good. Him reading The Artist's Way alone, fresh from Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. Caption is doing work.
That's really good. But I think that picture, like a blurry cell phone picture of Jack Harlow with a single glass of champagne alone at Balthazar on Valentine's Day, is the perfect single art, and that's why we think that's why the possibility, like, that feels like something Drake would do.
And we blame? Yeah, I was just gonna say we blame Drake for that.
I blame Drake for a lot of stuff, but
whoever was on his team, whatever fucking Toronto guy on his team was like, oh, if you just put a parental advisory logo on the corner of any picture, you're like, oh, that's hard, cuz.
That's hard, Crudy.
And Drake, speaking of Drake, he dropped on Valentine's Day, and the only press it got was that he mentions Tate McRae in one song, and we've already forgotten about the whole thing.
Liking Party Next Door is a crazy, like, it's the most boring music ever. It's so boring. I've never understood the appeal of Party Next Door.
Yeah. Listening to it makes you want to see if there's a party next door.
Literally, like I'm looking to escape this prison.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't understand who it's for. I mean, I like the Joe Budden stuff, obviously. Like calling Joe Budden a dick sucker or whatever is cool.
That's cool.
Mentioning Tate McRae is hilarious because, like, who mentions Tate McRae at all? You know what I mean? But I also wonder. I just wonder what the move is here. Like, what was because it feels relatively calculated. Like, to put out something like this with Party Next Door, where it's like sort of a joint album, but sort of not. I just don't understand what the actual mechanics are, I guess.
I mean, I guess the move is 10 years ago, if he did this, it would have, broken the internet.
Yeah.
Drake releases a surprise album of R&B love songs with Party Next Door on Valentine's Day.
That's true. That's true.
There's going to be fucking complex think pieces about it and all this shit. And now just, he's like our friend of the show, Joey, says, he's ice cold right now.
He's ice cold.
You can't be taking shots when you're ice cold.
He just announced he's headlining like the Wireless Festival in London all 3 nights, doing different sets.
Yeah, Tree Nights, that has the energy of sort of like old Victorian times or like Roman times, where you're like, I'm going to install myself as the headliner of every night of Coachella, whether you like it or not. Not because we're it's going to be that awesome and I have that correct amount of swag to be able to do that. It's more of like I'm forcing, or like he's like a dictator.
I don't think he has
using some blackmail or something.
I don't think he has that kind of power anymore.
When he's headlining 3 days of this thing. Maybe because it's in Toronto. Is that why?
No, it's in London. It's in
London. Oh.
But I think that also just outside of America things matter. Like, I think the Kendrick Lamar, like, that whole story obviously was big, but I think it only continues in America. Yeah. Like, I think other places just don't care. And also, like, I don't think I was talking about this with Jay Gallagher last night, and he made a good point. He's like, I don't think that other cultures like celebrate people like tearing each other down as much as America does. You know what I mean? And I think he made a really good point. Like, we celebrate that, and we want to see our like biggest stars torn down as much as possible, and we all get off on that, and we celebrate that a little more than other places.
Yeah, I guess Americans, we do have more of a fascination with kind of witnessing destruction.
Yes.
Grand scales.
Yeah, on a grand scale. Yeah, exactly.
And I would say that America is doing the work to rid ourselves of those awful desires, but we're not.
No, we're not.
I suffer from the same ailment.
Yeah,
every day I refresh Drudge Report, hoping there's a tsunami somewhere. I want to see some sick footage. I need to see a pier being torn down.
I don't want people's careers ruined. I want them dead. It's a different. That's how far. That's how far you're taking it.
Well, that's it. I don't want innocent people to die. I just want to see some crazy shit go down. That's all. Yeah. I just want to see something epic happen.
Yeah, I love epic stuff. I'm with you.
Like, show me a plane crash, but make sure all the pilots eject.
I need everybody out. Everybody's out.
Everyone narrowly escapes. Damn, that was crazy.
That's crazy.
Couple people die. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I also, on Thursday, I went to Public Records.
Oh yeah,
to see
George.
See George, guy called George, and I was I had only been to Public Records once when we did that thing there for the U.S. Open, when we played ping pong with Roger Federer.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't.
And you got a point in. Don't forget.
I didn't. But something happened to me. I did get a point in. Thank you for reminding me. Something happened to me that hasn't happened to me in a very long time. There was like 100 people in line because there's 3 different parties going on. And
sounds like a Gene show to me.
I'm like, there must be another way. There must be a better way. So I walk up to the front, and I'm just standing there, and a guy who kind of looks in charge comes up to me. He's like, "What's up, man? What party are you here for?" And I was like, "DH2." And he just goes, "All right, come this way. walks Kobe and I directly into the party, never checks my name on a list, never asked me any questions because I looked so out of place that he knew, like he knew I was there for a distinct reason and that I was on a guest list and I needed help.
Yeah. A good door person is able to identify the person who is trying to get into a party that they don't want to be inside of.
It was honestly amazing. Kobe was like, "Did he ask you your name?" I'm like, "No." He never said another word to me. He just took me into the room and left me there. And I was like, I really appreciated it. Personally.
I wonder if it's an age thing or it's a mutual respect. I mean, obviously you look so young.
No, I think it's a little bit of an age and a mutual respect. I think it's all of the above. I think it's like I was just standing there. I wasn't looking lost, but I was looking for answers. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't.
I think you were emitting the energy of y'all need me more than I need y'all. I would,
Maybe.
You have the energy. You're emitting subconsciously these pheromones into the atmosphere of saying like, I wish a motherfucker would not have me on the guest list so I can leave and go home immediately.
So I can get,
then when you have that energy, a door person's like, who is he?
Come with me right this way, sir. But it was, and then I left at probably like 1, and there were even more people in line, and like the line wasn't moving, and I was just like, damn, I didn't realize it went off. I just didn't realize that it was that crazy, you know.
Hey man, the George effect.
Well, there were 3 parties in 3 different rooms. So the room that George and Kelly were DJing in was like, I think it holds by like legally 250 people. There had to be 400 people in there. Like it was very packed.
It was rammed.
But yeah, I don't know what was going on in the other rooms. I didn't dip my toe in.
It don't matter. The other room was Afro House, maybe.
I really felt a level of respect I haven't felt in a while after that interaction.
I mean, you're club certified. You're good. Just about anywhere.
After the last 3 days of live music, I do feel like I'm kind of good anywhere. I've really run the gamut of stuff.
But also, when your club is in Manhattan and there's 100-person line, it's very easy to cut bait and go truly anywhere else. But when you make the trek out there,
true.
You're kind of like, we gotta.
When you're in Gowanus, but also Gowanus is a place that has always felt very far to me, and it was a 12-minute Uber home,
really,
because of like closeness to the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, I just didn't realize. So I was very pleasantly surprised.
Go off.
I left Kobe there. Kobe said he wasn't done raving. He said, I'm staying solo. I'm gonna have a cigarette and just hang out in here, bro. I said, all right, enjoy yourself.
He had to make some confessions on the dance floor.
Yeah, exactly what he had to do.
Yeah, and then are you excited that Madonna is making Confessions on the Dance Floor Part 2 with the original producer? Stewart, Thin White Dude.
I do think that's cool. I wonder if you can I feel like sometimes situations like that are lightning in a bottle and it's going to be tough to replicate or even continue the narrative, you know, but I like the effort. I think it's a cool thing to try.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of, like when they do the movie, like the old dogs the old guys are getting together for one last ride.
Yeah, we're going to Vegas for the Super Bowl. Me, Jason, Harrison
Morgan
Ford.
Freeman's going to ride a Harley. Ooh. That kind of vibe. But all that is to say, because of their age and their out of touchness, you give them a wider berth and you let them do, go, good, Madonna, you did it good. But I also think that, Madonna being a real culture vulture or bloodsucker or however you want to call it, she's noticed the trend that friend of the show, Halle Berry, just tweeted about a couple days ago saying, I take a little break from Twitter and come back. Every other tweet is about reheating nachos. Madonna is reheating her own nachos.
That's true.
Which is a flex, I would say.
I think it's a flex too. I think that Madonna trying to recapture one of her better eras is going to produce results that appeal to me more than anything new she would try to do.
1,000%. 1000%.
You know what I mean? It's like if the options are try to remake a classic, basically, or start from scratch, I'm gonna go with remake a classic in this case.
And are you taking notes, Katy Perry? We don't need to invent a new kind of like Euro dance music. You already have so many platinum nachos in your microwave. Just hit the 30-second button and off we go.
Now, Katy Perry needs to move to Romania for like 3-4 years, kind of disappear, lay low.
Why Romania?
I don't know. I just want remote, and then she's got to come back with Max Martin. That's what we need. That's what we got to do. Well,
I need to come back with A-Rap music with the white fur coat on.
Oh hell yeah! Now we're talking.
Katy Perry featuring Joel Santana.
Santana.
I mean, it couldn't be worse than what else is going on.
No, it could not be worse. That's like a very reasonable. Speaking of worse things going on, Jason, we need to pour some Vouv out for Chiltern Firehouse. It burned.
Pour a little Clico out.
I had to pour some Clico out. The firehouse burned. I don't know how bad it is. I'm assuming someone fell asleep, with a cigarette, but they also have a fireplace in every room. So that feels like it could have been the cause of the fire.
I got to say, for a fire to break out at a firehouse, that's really bad SEO. Next time, you guys got to choose a different place.
But I was talking to Ed about it, and he was like, yeah, don't worry. There's a vigil going on outside. They're all in a circle doing key bumps, singing Oasis, kind of mourning what's happening. I was like, that is my dream. That is literally my dream.
The streets of Marylebone are lined with little baggies. A little plastic bag of the Flicky Minaj.
A great idea to have the way that when a celebrity dies, they put the roses and stuff outside, and it's roses with bags of Coke taped to them outside of the Chiltern with a couple of pint glasses.
Just the words I said maybe, like scrawled on a broken window in lipstick.
It doesn't feels like a Pete Doherty thing. It does. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. But I wonder. It's just there's too many fires going on, and this is obviously not natural the way that the LA. But it seems like things are just on fire too much lately.
So you're bullish on blazes.
I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it because the smoke.
I mean,
damage.
we did on the last episode with our last boring episode with Doug Aitken, I made a fire starter reference.
That's true.
I think
of all the trends to kind of come back, arson wasn't one that I was totally expecting.
It is a little Mumford and Sonsy. It's a little throwback, like, oh, Arcade Fire's back, Arsony is back kind of thing. But could you imagine, because the fire happened, for our listeners at home, Chiltern Firehouse is like a luxury hotel, Soho Housey private club kind of spot. Legendary party spot, but it happened on Valentine's Day night. So there were all these geezers and birds who were racking up the gear, ready to have a lot of sex, and they had to evacuate.
That'll really kill a buzz. I tell you what. I mean, who's really excited about this? All of the luxury hotels within walking distance. Those guys are really the competition has been stifled due to fire, and I think that people are going to reap the benefits of that.
They're gonna as soon as the fire alarm goes off. Now I go straight to booking.com, and I begin searching nearby hotels.
Claridge
is snatch it up. You've done that at the airport with a flight before, right?
What do you mean?
Like when you're waiting for your flight and it's taking a long time and another 30 and then bitch comes out with a cart that got the sun chips and the bottles of water and they set that up.
It's
as
bad.
Soon as you can smell it in the air the way a dog can smell cancer or something, that you need to cut bait and start doing, so when you see that cart of sun chips coming, immediately go on your phone and start rebooking on a different airline.
I've definitely done that before.
Yeah, we had to do that in like a year ago in Cabo when we went to Cabo Nobu for Christmas. That happened the last Delta flight out. We could feel it in our bones that it was going to get canceled. And then Carolyn went on United. It was like literally the next gate over. Booked that flight out. There was like 2 spots left. And then 10 minutes later, the tears start coming, the screams start happening. Sunday night in Cabo, gotta fucking have some Subway for dinner.
Bro, nothing. Sleeping on the floor at an airport in Cabo is what I'm more interested in doing that I've never done before is, and I've only known a person to do this once in my life, is go to the airport with a suitcase, no flight booked, walk up to the counter and be like, I want the next flight here, and give them your credit card.
Yeah, that's when you call 911 because something bad going on.
That's the coolest. That's really living. I'm not a planner, but I plan too much for that sort of lifestyle, and I'm sure it causes some overspending to say the least. But I like the idea of doing that.
I feel like that doesn't happen anymore because every flight you're on is always full and oversold. So, you're like, hey, get me on the next flight to JFK, and they're like, cool. Come back in 4.5 weeks, and we got you.
I feel like if you're at the airport, it's easier than if you're trying to do that
true.
online. I think that there's it's a different kind of.
It's the only place where that can go down, but it's still a big roll of the dice, Chris. You got to be careful.
It's a big roll of the dice, but I would never do it going somewhere popular. I would. I guess the best case is to do it somewhere where there's like 15 flights a day.
Sure.
So in New York to Atlanta or something where you can.
Yeah, you can just get one of those massage chairs and post up. Did you watch? Okay, what do I have? I can delete Nacho Reheating. You hear the new Addison Rae song?
I was with I was with my friend Mitch who did the video, the beignet video. He directed it, and it was coming out at midnight. But I have not heard the song. I've only seen clips of the video from him.
Yeah, I don't think it's a winner.
I mean,
it's a chop.
But has she ever put out a good song? Isn't she just like hot and cool?
All the songs on this album that she's rolling singles out for have been winners and beloved by the community.
Is the album, when does it come out?
I don't know. I'm too straight to know the release date.
I don't really check for stuff like that. Like if I hear it, I hear it. If I don't, I don't. Kind of. I feel like it'll come. I feel like I will experience it naturally somehow if I'm meant to.
I think my algorithm is a little different than yours because it's all over mine.
I've been listening to this. Have you heard Horse Girl?
The band or the DJ?
The band.
I'm aware of them.
Yeah, I really like it.
Okay,
I really
good.
like it. And I like that album art. I think it's really good. But yeah, I have not been, I did not check for.
What about Oklou, Chris?
Bro, I was talking about this with somebody too. That shit makes no sense to me. I don't, it's like, it's nothing. I don't really, it's not even bad. It's just, it sounds.
You dislike that white boy?
Well, she's white, so I don't know why. I'm kidding.
It was just a play on you like that white boy. But it's disliking.
But I told you this because we talked about it a little bit on text. But I was like, I saw so many people posting about it, and not people that are like music people, like gay guys who like Sabrina Carpenter. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I assumed it was going to be like, oh, this is going to be like a hit. It's going to be like a Charlie or a whatever. Like I was like, I assumed it was going to be hits, and I put it on. And I was like, this is the most boring shit I've ever heard. There's no drums. Is that what you said?
There's pretty like one or two songs have like a faint kick drum rhythm going, but I think for the most part it's pretty ambient and drumless. I don't even think it's bad necessarily because it's just it really does nothing. It's not something to get excited about, I guess, is what I would say. Well, what it's interesting about it is it's like the dividing line of people who I get it and I don't get it. It's like the Seinfeld episode with the magic eye puzzle. Where you desperately want to understand it, but you specifically, Chris, are okay with not understanding it. But I think it's like for people whose brains are like affected by like weird syncopated rhythms and just like odd notes and flutes and it's just like experimental. It has some nice texture to it. I will say that like I like the way it sounds. It's just nothing happens. So I just I can't stay entertained. But do you like it or are you kind of mid on it too? No, I do like it. I don't know. To me, like all forms of art that succeed, I always think of it as like something that, when you see like a cat and you like pet a cat on the neck and you can see them like purring and enjoying it and like kind of rubbing their head into you, like music or art or whatever or drugs or cigarettes or whatever will make people feel like that. And I think this music, makes people feel good for whatever reason. Just, the rhythms and the notes and the sounds and everything like that. And I think they like that it's just so different from everything else going on that you're trying on something new. It's like, oh my God, I've never worn tabbies before in my life. I guess I'm a tabby person now, whatever. I guess I'm an ambient bitch right now, or whatever.
Where did it come from, though? Has it been around and this one just got popular? Or is it like this is her first?
No, she's been around for a while. I think she was in Polachek's band. She's worked with like PC music people.
Okay.
She's Drain associated. She's got Blade on a song. So
she got the Blade feature?
She got the Blade feature. So she's been beasting in the underground. She's got a good song that I sent you with A.G. Cook.
Yeah.
Where it's just like an acoustic ballad that I think is a really pretty song. But I'm always impressed when I hear she's like a super French person, speaks French, but when you hear her like speak in a conversation in English, you know, it's like a French person speaking English. It doesn't sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're singing, or when these people are singing, or when actors are doing their voices, their impressions of what an American would sound like, it's perfect. Like I can only impersonate it, or I can only speak in English if I'm singing.
That's a real a real thing. That's like a real thing. I don't know how that works either, but it is fascinating.
I think because they think it's embarrassing to sound like an American in conversation.
That's probably true.
Because we sound ugly.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I think you and I, we speak poetically, of course, but I think a regular kind of American export would sound not articulate, I guess, let's say.
I feel like, well, I mean, yeah, for sure. I think some people would judge my book by its cover because I say a lot of bad stuff too. I say a lot of dumb stuff. I got to.
Yeah, you do. Well, what choice do we have? We got to talk. We talk for 3 hours publicly. Most people do not.
That's right. Elon has 13 kids and a botched penis enlargement procedure.
You know what, bro? You know what? I'm all set on Elon. I gotta say,
I think everyone's all set on Elon.
Well, not everyone. I think there's a lot of. I mean, Sheryl Crow sold her Tesla. I'm very proud of her for that. I saw that, and that's brave of her to get rid of her electric car that cost $30,000.
Yeah, and on that subject, Uber, the Model Y is not a black car, fam.
Bro, Uber, anything Cadillac that's
if it costs less than an Accord, it ain't a black car.
If it ain't Escalade, don't give me those Cadillac XT6s. I love Cadillacs, but I want the Escalade.
Yeah, don't give me the Cadillac Lyric, an exciting new EV sedan.
No, the worst one is the Buick. Like that looks
only
nice,
happens in New York. That only happens
but it's a Buick.
The LA version of it is. It's like the cheapest Lexus sedan.
Yeah.
Where it's like a hybrid.
When is Elon going to flame out, though? Like, how long can he keep this up? Because it's one thing to do this when you're like a more of a private citizen, like billionaire businessman, but to be in the news every single day, all day, and be subject to that, it feels like there's an end date on that.
Like, is he like Ross Perotting right now? Are we gonna squeeze all the juice out of him soon, and then it's gonna be? I think he's gonna be in our orbit, no pun intended, in forever until he dies.
Definitely. But I just mean this.
He's unshakable.
This absolute,
unless he gets Luigi'd.
It's every day. It's just like every day, all day, something about him. I just wonder how long that can last, and how if people will lose interest.
Do you think Trump is bummed that Elon's perhaps getting more ink than he is?
I mean, he's given Elon, fucking $500 million worth of like government contracts to explore space. So I feel like they, I think they're scratching each other's backs, but at some point, two fat old freaks are going to beef. Like, there's no way these guys are going to be like lifelong homies and like enter the private sector together.
Yeah, we've seen the film Old Dogs.
Literally,
the Act 2 into 3, where things take a turn.
Things take a turn. Things always take a turn. That's what I'm saying. Things always take a turn. But I just don't believe that this will ever. This can't end well. I think everybody will agree on that. It can't end well, not only for the American people, but for Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Like the music of Destiny's Child, it's not going to be a smooth exit for the three of those girls, huh?
It's not going to be a smooth exit for these two girls. No, it's not. But I wonder, because everybody seems, at least everyone I know or encounter even, seems just so exasperated by the whole thing, and like so some people are too upset by it. Some people think it's funny, but everybody's like, I could live without this. Like,
Yeah,
I don't need to hear about this.
Because it's interesting because mostly because of the Cybertruck, the opinion of Teslas has gone down so much. Owning a Cybertruck basically guarantees that your car is going to be vandalized, if not by somebody drawing a dick in the snow or
Like
spray painting
literal
a swastika on the side of the door. Like, I've seen so many vandalized Cybertrucks. You're just, so really maybe perhaps tanking the value of Tesla, which is maybe something that Trump wants to do. He's like, I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna attach me to you and really make all of your people who loved you before hate you. And now maybe Trump can control him with these space contracts after Tesla
My question
is done. Because Trump, all Trump cares about is the oil business,
Yeah, but I think I could see a world.
So Tesla's bad for him.
I could see a world though where maybe the right embraces the Tesla, picks up the slack where the Hollywood liberals once stood.
So this is a full switch. This is a Freaky Friday.
Yeah. It's a Freaky Friday.
I'm gonna get an NPR sticker on the F-350 King Cab rolling coal on me at the co-op.
I could really see the right embracing Tesla as like a let's go Brandon type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we beep twice when I see you and I wave because we're on the same side of the coin.
That is interesting, but maybe hopefully they're like, we don't do none of that gay solar shit. We use our electricity that's powered, whatever the dirtiest form of creating electric power is. They proudly, whatever fracking.
Yeah.
They're like, we got our electricity through fracking, motherfucker. We ain't using that gay ass wind.
Yeah, fracking is definitely. They're definitely pro fracking. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And an electric car it does feel extremely liberal, but I don't. But if it's not.
It's fully flipped in our short lives. There was that Larry David HBO film where he plays like a guy who creates an electric car, and the stereotype of it is Fred Armisen in a wig, like Portlandia bookstore lesbian. It's as far into that left leaning archetype as possible. It would be really cool if it fully switched.
It would be cool if it switched.
Stranger things have happened.
I mean, I know a lot of fucking Brooklyn types driving a truck, and that used to be reserved only for rednecks.
So Elon Musk's we thought he was going to go down in history as, he created the electric car. He got us to colonize in Mars, but it'll be more so he made being a Republican gay.
Yeah.
He made electric cars toxic.
I think he really has affected the perception of electric cars, and it will for forever.
But as soon as I've seen commercials, like Super Bowl commercials for like the Dodge Charger Hemi electric type shit. Once that stuff gets perfected, Tesla's done. Nobody's gonna want it.
Really?
I think so. I mean, because Teslas are, they are goofy looking plastic little boxes. I love a Tesla. But you got a candy apple red EV Hemi Dodge Charger sitting on some Forgiatos, and you're throwing digital revs at the red line. All these fucking conservative hillbilly folks are going to want to snatch that up.
That's true. You make a good point. You make a
Buffalo Wild Wings parking lot only going to be EV charging stations.
I hate electric cars and would not have one unless I was forced to by the government. Not because I don't think they're good for the environment, just because I don't want to plug my car. I just find it limiting.
Yeah,
I guess is what I would say.
Many do.
But I know the acceleration is unmatched. So
speaking of stuff being ruined, slam dunk contest. Had a little white boy no one's ever seen play a game.
Well, he's in the G League. He's in the G League, and like a team brings him up just so he can participate in the dunk contest. And this is his third year in a row that I think he won. Right? Did he win last night?
Yeah, he got all perfect scores. I mean, it's the reason why nobody cares about this anymore.
I mean, he did jump over a Kia, like the wide part, which is pretty fucking crazy.
Blake Griffin did that 10 years ago, didn't he?
I don't know. I don't know.
Specifically at Kia.
Well, Kia's the sponsor, so it's always going to be a Kia.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got no choice. You can't bring out the big body.
Yeah, Blake Griffin jumped over a Kia. It was just the front hood, though. It was not the big part.
Yeah, this guy jumped. That
was 14 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. The quirked up white boy jumped over, like, he basically had a guy holding a ball in the sunroof.
Yeah.
Out of the sunroof, and he jumped over the middle, grabbed the ball. I watched it, actually. I actually watched it live.
I hate all that dunking.
It's stupid.
Like every single dunk he had involved like his like weird friend like holding a ball in different positions. To me, it's not dunking. It's the way that like watching street skating on the Olympics is not skating. You know, it has no heart. It has no sauce. It feels like, you know, a nerd used AI to type in like, what's a new and innovative slam dunk to do?
I don't think there's any reason that stuff should exist anymore, because the players don't give a fuck, because they're like, I'm not getting paid extra and I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Why would I do this?
It used to be fun.
No one watched. Well, everything used to be fun, and nothing's fun anymore. That's where we're at as a society. So it's tough to.
We all used to be like, hey, we're all NBA multi-millionaires. Life is so good. We have we make a lot of money doing what we love. Let's all put on a show, and wouldn't it be fun to play all together, the best players from different teams, and see who's going to win and make a whole weekend out of it. It's going to be great. And now every basketball player is like, what?
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that to the 6 chicks from Atlanta that are sharing one hotel room in San Francisco trying to get chose this weekend. Don't do that.
Even nobody goes to All-Star Weekend trying to get chose. That used to be a real thing.
No, they do. No, that'll never. No, if you got a 23-year-old with $300 million, somebody's coming to your city and staying at a Holiday Inn.
Enough attention to the urban community to always know. I never watch the All-Star game. I never know, but every year I used to know what city it was in, because you would just hear like, oh, San Antonio going down, Orlando down this year.
That's
and
real.
Like the
that's
world.
Real. That's real.
Well, I mean, the world was a smaller place back then, but like it was like everyone would go and set up. It's like, you know, the U.S. Open is happening in New York, and all these events are built around it, and now it's just like the Sprite experience powered by MasterCard. And it's just like, okay, here's a big room where we can get your email address. And it used to be like, we're going to go up this whole week. It's going to be so fun.
That's true.
Rappers would go and perform, crazy parties.
That's true.
Entourage cast would be there.
I mean, also San Francisco isn't really the, you know, San Francisco doesn't strike me as a Houston, Atlanta, Miami type energy.
My point is the All-Star game was in San Francisco, and I learned that right now from you saying
I see.
I had no idea where it was.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was happening.
I see what you're saying.
We should not allow white people
No.
to win the slam dunk contest.
No, absolutely not. I don't want white chocolate out there dribbling through his legs. I don't need to see the and one mixtape champion. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, this is the hill that I'm going to die on, the same way people like Joe Rogan doesn't want trans people to be entering swimming contests. I'm going to say no white boys in the dunk.
No white boys in the dunk.
We ruined it.
No. And you have to be under 6 feet to be in the 3-point competition. You can't have these 7-foot tall motherfuckers shooting threes. That's ruining the NBA.
Just geometrically speaking.
Yeah, geometrically speaking. How long gone? Thank you for listening. If you're in New York, we're at On Air Fest on Friday morning with friend of the show, Jason Isbell.
11 a.m.
11
Grab a Dunkin' and a donut. Come on down. And then Friday night at Jeans, Jason is DJing with some friends. It will be a first come, first serve basis unless we are actually friends, which I'm sure you will let me know. If you want to come. Yes. If you're an actual friend, let Chris know.
No, let Jason know as well. We'll collate our list. Don't leave it fully on me, but it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And unless we are actual friends, don't ask for guest lists. Sorry. That is all. And then, I'll be out in New York. We'll be recording some pods. I'll be over at the Standard. Post it up. Come fuck
the
with
weather's
me.
Awful, but get ready. It's really been tough.
Great. Okay.
It's really been tough.
I got my waterproof boots.
Bring your rain slicker. Bring your slicker. You gotta go Paddington mode. You gotta go Paddington. Figure it out.
Really?
Dude, it's pissing rain all day.
Do you have a panchita?
No, I have several. I have a lot of rain gear. Actually, I realized this morning. I actually went and had a rare morning coffee with George before he left, and I was looking for a raincoat, and I realized I had like 7 different varieties: long, short, bright colored, black. And I've lived in New York too long. Is the reality. But I did
like
choose
my Manolo closet. You got a rain slicker for every occasion.
I chose the triple XL Stone Island oversized trench coat in a blue metallic.
So you can put your backpack inside of it and it still gets covered.
Yeah, I can put my Chanel purse under
your pack.
So it doesn't care. My backpack. HowLongGone.com is the website.
Ladies, I call it pack.
We'll see you guys. Yeah, that sounds like a Thai diner offshoot. And we will see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
No egg.